What's left to lose? What's left to prove? Hands in my pockets, nothing to move. Super Dave, having fun, yeah, we're alive. Groove and move and let it ride. It's all good, it's all fine. Love burns hotter than the wire. Love burns hotter than the wire. Hello. GATE was an advanced learning system for the smart kids, or so they say. Hello. But what really was it? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How you doing? What scene? Lady Gings. Hello, Miss Blanche. How you doing, Duttons? Appreciate it, y'all. Suspicious guys, what's going on? South Carolina. All is well, man. Thank you. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. What's going on? Appreciate it, y'all. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. Smash it. All right. Appreciate it, Wasim. Are you in America? Was anybody here in the GATE program? You pretty smart, Duttons. They don't give you credit for what you deserve, man. I'm just saying, really. A lot of people don't even know what the GATE program is. They got a lot of Stargate, things like that. Where does this come from, y'all? When did this start, you know? I don't know a lot about it. Was you part of it? Some people don't even know they was even part of a program. Hello, CBA. I got to get into the chat over here on my doohickey thingy. Then I'll know who everybody is, y'all. I believe anyway. Let's see if we can get it going on. What really was the GATE program? I got an echo. 4 minutes into the show, y'all. Hello, Creek Mary. Was you part of the GATE program? I bet you don't even know, right? I'm like, man, something's going on, y'all. Yeah, can I see the chat? Do we even have enough people here to talk about it? Where are you from, Wasim? Thank you for subscribing. Let me check you out. Country Boy Archaeology, CBA. Come on, y'all. You got to remember this stuff. For real. What's going on? Is Hopperson here? I was like, man, I am the GATE program. For real? We need y'all to share me out. Whatever you want to do, y'all. I don't twist nobody's arm. I don't do anything but come over here on my channel. For real, y'all. Can you hear me? Do I have a 5x5 anywhere? Kind of like an auction, y'all. Do I have a 1x5, 2x5, 3x5, 4x5, 5x5? Really? Crazy, y'all. I need something to stand my phone up on. It's crazy for real. Nice. Yes, very nice. Very nice to be part of the team, y'all. It is so nice to be. Let me check your channel there. Wasim. And make sure I'm a subscribe to you. Yes. Let me leave you a comment. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I am subscribed. It's sticking good. Always leave a comment when you subscribe to somebody, y'all. Do that. Do it the Super Dave way. And that way it will stick. You know what I mean? You got to make it stick, y'all. Good afternoon, good morning to you. Was you part of the GATE program? What program was you part of? You know, I might play a video or two and talk about it and look it up and do something about it and say something about it and do whatever I want to do over here on my channel. You're welcome, Wasim. I left you a comment. Let me go ahead and turn you blue. That way you be part of the community big time, you know? Big time, man. What's going on? I'm an old man that likes to have fun, y'all. Thank you very much for the 5x5. Hello, Matt Davis. How you doing? Gate Smasher. Suspicious Skies. What's going on? Creek Mary. I don't even know. We're going to find out. For real. Snow almost gone over this way. Yeah, we snow. Do you have any snow, y'all? You know, that's one of them code words for. I won't even go there, y'all. Way back in the day when I was a little kid and I saw things I shouldn't have seen. I heard things I shouldn't have heard. So y'all keep the snow out your mind. For real. Hey, it's just one of them code words. You know, kind of like pizza and hot dogs. Hey, I got to get this to stand up, y'all. I got my thingy over there for real. Like Super Dave, what is your thingy for real? Hey, did somebody not hit that thumbs up? I'm going to have to start twisting some arms, y'all. Hello, Miss Blanche. I didn't mean to run nobody out. I'm just trying to research. And yes, I was in another chat. I was like, are you for real? This girl was naming off things about this program that she didn't even know the name of, you know? Ain't that crazy, y'all? Yeah, thanks for the blue. Did y'all quit chatting? If you did, it doesn't matter, whatever. The Gateway Project, what really was the GATE program? Unlocking the mind and things like that. There was secrets about it too. The CIA did not admit they were involved in this early on. It was like 2003 that they released the papers and the documents about their involvement. It was a secret program, y'all. Are you still here, Creek Mary? Was you part of it? Yes. Gifted and talented programs. But was they stealing your talent? What was they really doing? Really? What was they really doing? Was they altering the man, Was they locking us into a time, a dimension, or something like that? This program goes back really into the 60s and 70s, but they admit it up until the 80s and 90s. Yes. So you don't really know what was going on. For real. You think you know what was going on, don't you? It's just a simple little ear test, But them ear tests, they had frequencies and sounds about them, you know? Let me read your comment before I get lost, y'all. Good live. Well, thank you very much. Are you in America? I'm just asking a question. Maybe I missed it. I don't even know, but you're welcome. I was on some, and so was my son. Yeah, but there's something you don't even know. There's got to be. For real. Unlocking the mind. Let's play this little short video, y'all. Audio, okay? Let's get it started.
The year is 2003. The CIA declassifies a trove of documents. Among them, a curious file, the Gateway Project. This project, conducted in the 1970s and 80s, explored the uncharted territory of human consciousness. Its goal? To unlock hidden potential within the mind. The Gateway Project was no ordinary research endeavor. It delved into the realm of altered states of consciousness, seeking to understand and harness their power. At the heart of this project lay a technology known as HemiSync, developed by Robert Monroe. This technology, combined with specific techniques, promised to take participants on a journey beyond the ordinary. The declassification of the Gateway Project files sent ripples through the scientific community and beyond. It offered a glimpse into a world where the boundaries of reality seemed to blur, where the mind held the key to unlocking extraordinary abilities. The question on everyone's mind, could we truly expand our consciousness, and if so, what wonders awaited us on the other side? Robert Monroe, a pioneer in the exploration of consciousness, stands as a pivotal figure in the story of the Gateway Project. A man of diverse talents, Monroe's journey began in the world of radio broadcasting. However, a series of unusual experiences in the 1950s set him on a new path. He found himself catapulted into altered states of consciousness, experiencing profound shifts in perception and awareness. Intrigued and driven to understand these extraordinary states, Monroe...
What is 111? Let me go ahead and read a little bit. I don't do much of AI around here on my channel. I don't want y'all to leave listening. I can continue that audio briefly, but I looked up in Grok. I was asking questions, you know. Grok was even denying that the CIA was involved, you know, the GATE program. Yes. Let me read what the Grok came out with. Yeah, there's a wild conspiracy theory floating around at the GATE program. Gifted and talented education in schools was secretly run or connected to the CIA. See, even AI will lie to you, not admitting. But the CIA themselves came out and admitted this. People who were in it back in the 80s or 90s say things like weird psychic test, hypnosis exercises, or even listening to the Gateway tapes from the Monroe Institute, the ones the CIA actually studied for consciousness stuff in their declassified Gateway, in their processed documents. Where I'm going with all this, the things that they tell us aren't always true. Is anybody new in the chat? Yeah. I have a feeling, though, there was more. Yes, there's probably more. Well, hello, Happy Tiger. Sorry you can't stay. Hello, friend. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you for coming over. And it wasn't weird. You don't think it was weird? Any of it? There may be something revealing, you know. Did you trust it, Gate Smasher? It wasn't weird. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Did you trust it? I mean, was it trustable? It may have been, maybe. Maybe I'm not onto something like I think. The time was 111. When you start seeing 111, it's a calling to connect with the universe and divine being. A lot of people don't even know they was, and parents don't even know that they was part of this secret government program, is what I'm trying to say. Also, people's memories have been affected. If you trusted this program or not, I mean, people don't have memories and they're reporting lots of that, you know? Just saying, y'all. The time was, yeah. Hello, Leslie Bosler. In case y'all don't know, tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. It sure is, every February the 4th. Thank you, Lord, for another year. Okay. But yeah, they're not going, you have to take this stuff opposite conspiracy theories, what they're trying to put out there. What, as we all know, conspiracy theories come true. You know, let me read a little bit more as I go on because I want to take this down. There's a wild conspiracy theory floating around at the GATE program for gifted and talented children, you know? That's why they call it GATE program, y'all. All right. Some claim it was a way to spot kids with special abilities for recruitment, kind of like an extension of MK Ultra or the Stargate remote viewing project. There's articles, Reddit threads, and YouTube shorts pushing it. Folks even say they now think their gifted classes were CIA training in disguise. It may be, y'all. Uh, don't they want to help us and populate us and make us smarter and everything? Actually, they're dumbing the kids down, you know? But officially, no solid evidence. GATE is just a normal public school program for advanced kids funded by states. The CIA stuff is real. Stargate, Gateway, but linking it to Schoolgate seems like a mix up or stretch. Probably fueled by the similar names and Cold War paranoia. Most skeptics call it coincidence or urban legend. What do you remember from your own experience? Um, this makes sense. Lots of schools ran different versions back then. Some called it GATE, other talented and gifted or Odyssey of the Mind. But the conspiracy nuts online, they insist every advanced track had hidden tests, like spelling bees that weren't about spelling, or teachers who ask, do you ever dream about numbers? Honestly, sounds more like bored teachers and all that stuff, and anxious parents than mind control. This is what Grok put down, okay? And I don't do Grok very much. I don't do AI. Just curious, you know, AI will lie to us. And I figure a lot of this is a lie already. I called it Grok in the lie because the CIA released this, and Grok was calling it a wild conspiracy. Know what I mean? So yeah, there goes the problem right there. Did somebody else come in, y'all? Yeah, I don't want to miss nobody. Nobody got time. How you doing? Watch Woman of the Dragon got here late. Rent visit with the landlord. Would thank the Lord you had it to pay. Hello, Kay. How you doing, ma'am? Thank you for coming in. I just on this subject, I'm asking questions. Was you part of the GATE program? I think most of us really was, you know. So, uh, yeah. Did you go to these hearing tests and all these things? You know, let's take this down, proceed a little bit.
Poe embarked on a lifelong quest to explore the hidden dimensions of the mind. His research led him to develop HemiSync, a technology that utilized sound to influence brainwave activity. Monroe believed that by altering our brainwave patterns, we could access different states of consciousness at will. Monroe's work attracted the attention of researchers and individuals interested in expanding their mental and spiritual horizons. His findings, documented in his books and teachings, laid the foundation for the Gateway Project. Monroe's legacy lies in his unwavering belief in the untapped potential of the human mind and his dedication to providing tools for its exploration. HemiSync, short for hemispheric synchronization, forms the technological cornerstone of the Gateway Project. This innovative technology, developed by Robert Monroe, harnesses the power of sound to influence brainwave activity. But how does it work?
Brainwave activity. Yeah, the GATE program wasn't just about smart kids. That's the bedtime version. It was about selection, timing matters. The Cold War loved prodigies the way casinos loved card counters. Let's play this little video.
There are children, now adults, scattered across the world who recall strange moments tucked inside the folds of their early education. Not nightmares, not dreams, but memories, fragmented like a broken mirror, reflecting a strange, quiet fear that never quite left. In the United States and Canada, during the 1980s, 90s, and early 2000s, many schools had a special program. It was called GATE, or GATE, Gifted and Talented Education. On the surface, it was an enrichment program for high IQ children, but some who went through it remember something else. They recall sealed rooms, covered windows, headphones with strange tones, and Zener card tests, those black and white symbols made famous in psychic research. And then there was the pink drink, a mysterious liquid administered before certain sessions. Bitter, medicinal. Meant to do what exactly? These recollections are not isolated. Reddit threads, TikTok confessions, late-night podcast guests, thousands are coming forward, their stories eerily consistent. Children taken from class for special testing, told to keep secrets, observed by adults who didn't work at the school, asked to perform impossible tasks, guess cards without seeing them, remote view objects in other rooms. Is this merely a shared psychological artifact, shaped by culture and memory? Or is it a leak in a dam, revealing something buried far deeper? In the Cold War era, the CIA and Defense Intelligence Agency poured millions into paranormal research. They called it Project Stargate. The goal, to weaponize consciousness, train operatives to spy across time and space, using only the mind. It sounds absurd, but it was real. Declassified documents now confirm it. So here's the question. If the government believed remote viewing was possible, why wouldn't they look for children who showed early potential? Why wait for the gift to wither in adulthood? Why not find them, test them, shape them?
I guess that's what they was doing, right? Or is that really what they was doing? Well, hello. Beaver Valley updates and more. Salute. Thank you. Joy Calhoun. Hello, ma'am. Nobody got time. Calhoun. Vibration along with mental exercises to expand your mind and unlock certain energy to use. Hello, Daryl. Good to see you, sir. The GATE program. Was you part of it? Just asking a question, that's all. What was this program really about? Every child there was assessed and abused. We had a Project Stargate class for children 5 to 7. They wanted us to find things by remote viewing. All schools, all districts probably are not the same, in this program. Probably not. Yeah. At age 7, I was taken to the lab where we would be electroshocked. See, not everybody received the same thing. Why would they electroshock and had to wear a helmet? The man overseeing the program was chairman of the Joint Chiefs under the President Clinton and President Bush. Yeah, a lot of good information if you go down this rabbit hole, let's say. Um, why would they electroshock any children? Just saying. Maybe I'm a little off about all this. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just asking too many questions, but maybe I'm not. Why the pink drink? A lot of children were reported after drinking this poor pink drink that they lost a lot of their memory. Do you remember anything about it? Does anybody remember? If you drank it, you don't remember, right? Let's see, y'all. I got a few more things about this. It's crazy, y'all. Remember being pulled out of class for special testing? The weird tones in the headphones, the pink liquid, the puzzles no one explained. What if GATE was just a gifted program? What if it was something else? That's the way I think. What if it was really something else other than what we was told?
It always started the same way. A teacher pulled you aside. You were handed a worksheet that looked different from everyone else's. Maybe you sat alone in the library with a headset, listening to tones. Maybe you were asked strange questions like, why do we wear clothes? Or handed flashcards and told to guess. You didn't know it yet, but you were being tested. Officially, it was called GATE, the Gifted and Talented Education Program, a national effort to identify and support children with exceptional intellectual ability. A fast track, a golden opportunity, a mark of honor. But what if it was something else?
I'm not saying I have the
It
answer
always started the same way. A teacher pulled you.
to this program. I'm not saying and believing our government. That's why I ask you all a lot of times if you went through something like this GATE program, the pink liquid. A lot of people, if these look familiar to you, then you were definitely in the GATE program in the 70s or 80s. See what I'm doing? I'm taking it back farther than what a lot of them are admitting to. They're admitting the 80s and 90s that this program existed. But in the 70s too, back when I was a young lad, also known as TAG, talented and gifted. Remember the pink liquid that was inside the cup? Somebody says hint, it was fluoride. I mean, I don't know. This apparently is what it used to look like. The pink drink. They even called this punch. They didn't tell the children what they were drinking. Who knows? Was it fluoride? I mean, what was it? And like I said, people are reporting losing their memory. Honest videos and all this kind of stuff, I'm up for, whether it be good for us or bad for us. If the CIA was doing something good or something bad. I don't think the verdict has come in yet, Just saying. Did somebody else come in yet? Does anybody have an opinion about this, Why citizens are forced in the public schools and tested? Potential subjects. Hello, Rebecca Lynn. Check your email, please, Joy. Creek Mary, in the 5th and 6th grades, I was in a small school with a bunch of officers' kids, like Admiral, grandson was my classmate. Well, that's awesome. Hello, Stony. How you doing? Leslie Bosler. For real, ma'am. What was these programs about? You know, the GATE program. Just was it looking for more talent? The pink liquid, if it suppressed memory, a lot of people are reporting having nightmares and things after taking this drink or the punch that they wanted you to believe that it was. Was it just punch? We just had a hint that it may have been fluoride. If it was straight out fluoride, you know yourself. Here in the community, we all know that fluoride messes with your third eye. Hello? Did anybody say anything? Hello? Is that good for you? Yeah, right. Maybe I've woken you up now. I mean, really, to something other than what we was told. Let me go ahead and take this down. I wanted to make sure I got everything out of there. Well, Super Dave, this program was good for us, but really, was it? If it suppressed your memories, look, fluoride can do that, right? Just saying, y'all, the GATE program, they don't admit to everything. I don't believe 1 minute. If you look it up, the images, it came in as gifted and talented, these type of things. Yeah, you're gifted in the Gateway program. What is GATE? It just over and over. I mean, when it comes to the CIA and our government, y'all, I'm sorry, I don't trust the program. But I went in there a lot of times with these hearing tests all throughout, I had some visuals, on a screen. I remember the puzzle. For some reason, I don't remember the pink liquid. Yeah, there was a pink liquid. If you're just coming in, why don't I remember if I was taking part of this program? Certain things they say you can't remember that it erased not only from this program, but other experiences in life. Did they alter something about us if you was part of this program, A lot of questions, more questions than answers, y'all. Hello, Mike Smith. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you coming in. Was you part of the GATE program? Or you don't even know, like a lot of us? I remember them telling me from class and taking me to a small room and made me put headphones on and raise my right hand and left hand when I heard the beep. I remember that. Excuse me, y'all. And it get real faint. And I'd still point at my right ear when I heard it, It blew her mind, the lady giving me the test. I think that was part of the GATE program. May not have been exactly about your hearing. May been planning something. As we all know, frequencies, can alter different things, even probably, I'm just suggesting, I don't know 100%, but you would look at these headphones, example, radiation and these frequencies. They even these days, they're recording when you put these iPhone headphones in your ears, that they're recording your brain waves. Look at the technology, y'all. I mean, look, we have to expand our horizons, y'all. Go beyond what we've been told. Like, is that some reason why you can't remember everything? Did they wipe our memories? Did they steal our intelligence? anything, knowledge, did something what they were searching for, was it? Ask questions, y'all. Ask questions. Hello, Laura K. I remember that too. I remember taking tests with headphones on in grade school. Yeah, Mike Smith, I do too, man. Let me read the chat a little bit more. Maybe I missed something. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all hitting that thumbs up. Tomorrow is my wedding anniversary, y'all. I had to bring that up. Every February the 4th, y'all. For real. God is good to me, y'all. The smallest things in life make me happy. It really does. It's big to me, but it's probably small to you. So that's why I said it like that. You know what I mean? I do have another video or two. I don't want to take your whole day and everything, y'all. We've been live 36 minutes. Congratulations, brother. Well, thank you, ma'am. It creeps me out when I think the computer is off, but my speaker or TV wakes up when I walk by. For real? You must have a sensor on it or something. For real. Never let AI into your bodies. In your abodes. Yeah, let me look right over here. I just want to make sure I kind of cover this, y'all. Yeah. I'm just looking. Have you learned or heard of the Gateway Experience? I was watching this other channel and I was like, man, this is something I need to look into. And I realized just now looking into this, I experienced this experiment myself, but can I say, it has taken something from me. If it changes consciousness and stuff like that, it may have taken something from me. When I was a young lad, I don't know what I may have had behavioral problems. I didn't have a dad in the home and stuff. I do remember in kindergarten being a good lad, being a good boy, being really good. But when I got in elementary school, it's like things changed. Just saying, y'all. I'm not blaming it because I didn't have a dad. I'm just saying, could this experiment or any other experiments they were trying altering my behavior or anybody else's? We have to think back, y'all. They don't want us to wake up to the reality of many things. And I'm not saying this is one of them, but it could be. Why they stuck these experiments in 2020 in everybody, right? Everything is an experiment. Look what's happening. Look what's been happening. America, the great experiment. Look what's happening. These experiments kind of go awry, y'all. Well, Super Dave,
The report entitled Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process was penned in 1983 by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell. McDonnell described the Gateway experience as a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical space so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. In simpler terms, the Gateway experience uses sound to manipulate brainwaves with a goal of creating an altered state of consciousness in which a person can interact with non-physical aspects of reality. Practical uses of the technique, according to the CIA report, include manifesting goals, converting energy to heal one's body, and even traveling across space and time to access new information. The report was quietly declassified by the CIA in 2003 and largely went unnoticed.
I mean, they could have been testing to see if we had some greater knowledge, if we could telepath or do things, like a psychic or anything, like somebody that can prophesy. Who knows? They was looking for some, I'll call it talent that maybe most people don't have. Maybe. Good question, Super Dave. Yeah. And if you had a super talent, as you just heard in the video, to alter our consciousness, alter means to change. Really. I do remember having one other video or so. They might want to explain it in a good way, but we don't really know. And how do you know what to take at face value? Why was it classified and they finally declassified it many years later? Wouldn't they be open about something if they mean well in the beginning? If they meant so much goodness for you and me, they would be completely honest and open about it right from the get-go, okay? Yes, a huge round one. For real? Oh my goodness. Be careful, please. Yes, I always kind of wondered about that school, Miss Creek Mary. I always kind of wondered what these hearing tests over and over and over were for, and they were frequencies. I remember very well. Was they altering my mind? Was they, was they trying to pull something out of my mind? There's nothing wrong with asking questions. I got one more video. It's very long, but I think it explains. It's not that long. It's about 15 minutes. Yeah. So I called it very long. This here has more answers because that pink liquid, y'all, it just disturbed me thinking about it,
Picture this. You're back in elementary school. You're a bright kid, an imaginative kid. You're sharper than a lot of the other kids your age. You notice things that others don't. Schoolwork comes easy to you, sometimes too easy. You finish your assignments faster than the rest of the class. This leaves you a lot of time to sit there staring out the window and daydream. Then one day you get pulled out of class. You're taken to a windowless room that you've never seen before. They give you puzzles to solve. They ask you strange questions. They make you wear headphones and play strange sounds in your ears. They give you a cup containing an unknown pink liquid and tell you to drink it. While all this is going on, a stranger in a suit sits in a corner, observing you and taking notes. Everything about this makes you feel uncomfortable, but you do what you're told because you're a child. And these are grown-ups, and they keep telling you how special you are. What's especially strange about this experience is that by the time you reach adulthood, you barely remember any of this. It's all just one big blank. That is until one day when it finally starts to come back to you, bit by bit. If any of this sounds familiar to you, then you are likely part of the GATE program. GATE stands for Gifted and Talented Education. And if the rumors are to be believed, this wasn't just some innocent program to encourage young minds. It was actually part of a top-secret government experiment. If you're new here, let me welcome you and introduce myself. I'm Nate Hale, and I've been doing this podcast for a number of years now. And if you've been following me all this time, thanks for coming along on this journey with me. I love telling stories about everything strange and unusual throughout history, everything from UFOs to cryptids to true crime and government conspiracies. That being said, the reason I wanted to tell you about the GATE program is because it's a story that I have a personal connection to. You see, back in the 1980s, I was one of those kids who became part of the program. And to this day, I still have a lot of questions about what actually happened while I was in the program. I'm not alone in that regard either. In recent years, a lot of people online have begun sharing their personal experiences about what they remember about the GATE program. You might know this program under a number of different names. Sometimes it's called TAG, or LEAP, or G&T. Or sometimes it's just referred to as the Giftedness Program. Throughout the 1980s all the way through the early 2000s, these programs began popping up in school districts across the United States. On the surface, it all sounds fairly innocent. These giftedness programs were supposed to identify the brightest and most talented students in each school, offering them more accelerated learning opportunities, special projects that challenged the students' problem-solving skills, and providing new forms of creative expression. But according to a number of people who were in the GATE program, there was a lot more going on than just getting to skip out of your regular classes and getting extra computer time to play Oregon Trail. Keep in mind, there are lots of former GATE students out there today who insist their experiences in the program were completely normal and that nothing...
I sped this up when I was watching it, so it's going to be shorter than the 15 or 18 minutes. You can support the channel with buy me a coffee. Tomorrow is my anniversary of 37 years. So, I mean, helping me by supporting the channel is very awesome. You don't have to. I appreciate everybody that shows the love and share me out and hit that heart button or the like button, y'all. But right after this, I'm going to go ahead and call it the day. Yeah, I sped it up a little bit. We went through 3 minutes that fast. I could slow it down because if it's too fast for you, what I want to do, this guy, it's got good information in here. So yeah, it was sped up a little bit. Let's finish playing this.
Out of the ordinary was going on. On the other hand, though, there is still a vocal number of former GATE children who've begun posting online that whatever was happening inside the program, it was anything but innocent. One of the strangest things you'll hear constantly about these giftedness programs is how little of it many people, including myself, actually remember about it. But in recent years, with the growth of social media, many now adult former GATE children have begun comparing notes on Reddit forums and places like TikTok and Instagram, sharing what they remembered about the program. And a lot of these stories range everywhere from the peculiar to the downright disturbing. As for my own story, I know I was in the program. I remember getting to leave class early all the way from elementary school through middle school. The funny thing is, though, I don't remember a lot beyond that. I know I went to a different room inside my school for my special classes, and I know that my teacher was someone who wasn't part of the regular staff at my school. But I couldn't tell you the name of that teacher, and I also couldn't tell you for sure who the other kids were in my group. Although I know for certain there were others. I'm not alone in these sort of hazy memories about the program either. For a program that was spread out in school districts all across the United States, there are a lot of commonalities you'll hear from former GATE students. Most of these kids were selected for the program during the 3rd or 4th grade. Some people claim they were initially taken to a windowless room, sometimes even to a windowless trailer outside the school. There they were presented with logic problems or puzzles to solve. Other people describe being asked questions that seemed completely nonsensical. Things like, how many hairs are there? Or, what color is sound? The instructors were almost always complete strangers. Some people also described these adults acting oddly hostile if you gave them an answer they didn't like. Other former GATE kids said they were given Rorschach tests. These are the sort of inkblot tests you see in psychiatrist offices. Or even stranger still, some people report being tested with Zener cards. These are a specially designed deck of cards that are used to test extrasensory perception. What happens during this sort of testing is that the tester asks you what the next card will be just by thinking about it. Which, of course, begs the question, if this is true, why the heck were they testing elementary school kids for ESP? Then there's the pink drink. Many former GATE kids, myself included, remember being given paper cups of a chalky pink liquid and being told to drink it. Some people say this was nothing more than a fluoride rinse you were told to swish around in your mouth and spit out. Others say that after they drank the liquid, something a lot more disturbing happened, though. Some people claim they would wake up later back in class like they never left and with no memory of how they got there. Then there was the hearing test. One of the most common stories that gets told by former gate kids is that they were made to wear big padded headphones and that they were given what they were told was a hearing test.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality.
Only this wasn't like any normal hearing test you'd get from the school nurse. People who remember these tests recall hearing unusual high-pitched chirping sounds and odd tones in each ear, followed by a man's voice giving them instructions. A number of people online believe they know what these hearing tests really were. And if true, it might provide the first major clue as to what was really going on inside the GATE program. A lot of people think these hearing tests were actually what are known as the Gateway Experience. That name alone might provide some hint that there may be a connection to the GATE program, although officially the fact that these two programs share the word GATE is just a coincidence. So what is the Gateway Experience? According to a declassified CIA report from 1983, the Gateway Experience was a secret program to expand human consciousness and to develop mental abilities. The Gateway process was created by a former radio executive named Robert Monroe. Beginning in the 1950s, he began experimenting with certain audio tones that he believed could produce different effects on the human body. Everything from enhanced learning to hypnotic states and out-of-body experiences. Pretty soon, Monroe's work caught the attention of the CIA, which had already been experimenting with the human mind for the previous couple decades. This started in the 1950s with their now infamous experiments into mind control that we know as MKUltra. MKUltra was officially dismantled in 1973. But that wasn't the end of the government's experiments into the human mind. One of the offshoots of MKUltra was Project Stargate. This was another series of covert experiments that went through a series of different names, including Grill Flame and Sunstreak. You might know it from the book or movie The Men Who Stare at Goats. This was an experiment into remote viewing and other psychic abilities that came about after U.S. intelligence sources learned that the Soviet Union was developing their own psychic spy program. One of the many avenues that was explored in the Stargate program were ways to expand human consciousness. And one of the ways this was attempted was through Robert Monroe's binaural sounds. Now keep in mind, we don't know that the Gateway tapes were what were being used on children inside the Gifted program. But a number of now-grown students who underwent those audio tests have claimed that when they listen to the Gateway tapes, it causes a visceral reaction, usually feelings of fear and anxiety.
This is the Hemsync demonstration exercise. It is designed to acquaint you with the Hemsync process so that you have a better understanding of the effects of its use and the potentials of its applications in the area of your particular interest. First of all, set the volume in your headphones so that you hear my voice very softly, just enough to understand my words and no more. Now relax a moment as you listen to the sound of ocean surf, the sound of natural power, a symbol we use to depict the natural power of Hemsync. I'll return with you in a few moments.
Thank you all for the anniversary wishes. Laura K., thank you, everyone. Yeah, God is good, isn't he? Thank you, Watchwoman of the Dragon. Hello, Tetrastatic. How you doing? Was you part of the GATE program? Just asking. Yeah, I missed. That's why I'm stopped, because I missed some of the comments. Anniversary, happy. Thank you, Rebecca Lynn. Thank you very much. Laura K. will be 37 years for me too. Wow, in September. The Firing Horse is going on 60 years. So I guess a lot of us is around that. Every 60 years it comes around. It's in February of this month later on. When the Firing Horse starts. Remember the Golden Age and the Year of the Snake? So it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I sped this back up a little bit because I needed y'all to quit leaving me.
That's just a small sampling of one of the Gateway tapes. You can find the rest on YouTube if you're interested in hearing more. But I'll tell you right now, I tried listening to them, and I don't know what it is, but I was only able to listen so long before I had to stop. Robert Monroe believed that his Gateway tapes could expand the human mind and allow you to astral project your consciousness away from your body. During the 1970s and 80s, the U.S. Army sent personnel to the Monroe Institute to train themselves to have out-of-body experiences. Now, the official line goes that the Stargate program was ended in 1995 after it never produced any useful intelligence. But that's not entirely true. There were a few very promising psychics who came out of the Stargate program, people like Ingo Swann and Joe McMoneagle, who performed some startlingly accurate feats of remote viewing that were documented and verified as real. If you want to hear more about the Stargate program, leave me a comment below and maybe I'll do another video about it. Seriously, you want to hear about how the psychics discovered alien bases on the moon and life on Mars. So if the CIA and the U.S. Army was willing to train troops in astral projection and remote viewing, the question is, was it possible they would attempt to develop psychic abilities in school children? That's one of the leading theories about what was really going on inside the GATE program. The CIA's declassified report on Robert Monroe's Gateway program details many of the methods that were used to expand human consciousness, including hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback. But would they have actually attempted to perform such experiments on unsuspecting children? Well, it wouldn't be the first time the government experimented on its own citizens without their consent or knowledge. If you trace the timeline backwards, you can see where this all starts with MKUltra. These were a series of covert experiments conducted in university labs and hospitals throughout North America. Many of these experiments into mind control were conducted on unsuspecting participants who were dosed with a variety of hallucinogenic drugs. There are even reports of some mental hospital patients who basically had their entire memories and personalities wiped clean and had to relearn how to speak and feed themselves. But in 1973, once news of these experiments were being reported in the New York Times, then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all records of MKUltra be destroyed. It was only by accident that a number of records managed to survive. Although officially the MKUltra program was shut down in 1973, we know for a fact that many offshoot programs like Project Stargate lived on. The one thing we don't have, though, is any concrete evidence that the program evolved into the GATE program. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Suppose the pink drink that so many people remember ingesting wasn't some brainwashing drug, but rather it was something entirely innocent. Some people think it may have simply been Pepto-Bismol, which is a pink chalky liquid, and a lot of school nurses probably would have stocked up on it to help soothe some upset tummies. Others think people are having false memories about a simple fluoride rinse, the same sort of rinse you're given at the dentist. All the puzzles the GATE students were given could have simply been logic problems to challenge young minds. The hearing test could have been exactly that, a hearing test and nothing more. All of it could be exactly what it seems. But then why do so many people think there was something more sinister going on? Some of the stories you'll hear from former GATE kids are downright bizarre. One Reddit user posted on a thread claiming that he and his fellow GATE kids were taken to a museum and left alone all night without adult supervision inside the mummy exhibit. Other individuals claimed that after they'd leave school, they could close their eyes and they would see strange, colorful fractal patterns. One further thing you'll hear among some former GATE students is that there were actually two different groups of kids. There were the ones who were selected for GATE testing, and the ones who were selected from that group who tested especially high in certain aptitudes. These kids were singled out and were groomed throughout their lives for political positions or other high-powered jobs in the business world, while some kids who didn't make the cut into the elite group have claimed that it almost feels like for the remainder of their lives, forces have conspired to keep them as beaten down as possible. There's even one related, even darker theory that goes that the pink drink really was actually a highly concentrated dose of fluoride, which in strong enough dosages is believed can inhibit some higher brain functions. This theory being that the fluoride was being used to inhibit children's IQs, or even their latent psychic abilities. In other words, to basically prevent them from excelling later in life. There are even some former GATE kids you'll find online who believe that they are still being monitored to this day, well into adulthood.
What if they was using this pink liquid to slow these kids down that were really smart and above their class? To slow their brain functions and learning abilities down because they was ahead. Just saying stuff, y'all. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to any government program, isn't Spraying the Skies a government program?
Former GATE kids claim that they've noticed that they seem to get unusually lenient treatment when they get pulled over for traffic stops or have other interactions with law enforcement. It's almost as if there's something in their record that directs police to let them off easy. There is one alternate theory that puts aside all the psychic training stuff, which suggests that the courses the GATE children were taught were actually early training to help develop the next generation of code breakers for the NSA, which, considering some of the worksheets some online users have posted featuring translating Russian and other codes kids were asked to solve, this would almost make sense. Except then you have to wonder, well, where are all these NSA jobs? Now, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, there's yet another theory that suggests the real reason for all the training into developing psychic abilities wasn't just to train psychic spies for remote viewing, but rather to create powerful telepaths who are able to communicate with aliens. This theory suggests that aliens are becoming to Earth and working with the US government. But since they only communicate telepathically, the government needed to train a new generation of psychics to work with them. I know, it all sounds crazy. But it gets even weirder still. Many former gay kids say they share a common forehead scar that they can't explain. Others say many gay kids all share the same pronounced occipital bun in the back of their skulls. A number of others all say they nearly drowned in childhood or had some other near-death experience. There's a lot more than that, but you get the idea. Now, to me, a lot of these things...
I know I nearly drowned in childhood. My uncle said I was floating on the water for several minutes, and he dragged me out. I was just as limp. The same uncle that died on Christmas Eve last year. Hello, Miss Honeybee. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. Was you part of the GATE program? Hearing test, puzzles, drinking pink liquid. And it kind of goes a little bit deeper than that. Even this person sitting in a room taking notes or recording, did anybody ever record you when you was taking these hearing tests or any other test? Was you aware of any of these type of things happening? You know? So yeah, just like with kids' pictures these days, and all back in our day, in our parents' days, the government still has these pictures, you know, your class picture, your picture, data mining. They have mined all of our pictures throughout all the grades. Even if you didn't buy the pictures, y'all, they send in this company, corporation, whatever, that goes around these schools, takes all these pictures of every child, every last one of us. Even if your parents didn't buy the pictures, they still have them collected. They're in a file somewhere, you know, in a computer or on paper, portraits, whatever you want to call it, but they're still out there. They still have them. Okay, yeah, there's like a few more minutes. Just what? 2 minutes left, y'all.
Not like some people are reaching for connections that aren't really there. This is natural, though. Human beings are hardwired to attempt to make connections between different things to bring chaos from disorder. I don't have a forehead scar. And as far as I know, the bump on the back of my skull is just a normal bump. I don't recall having a near-drowning experience when I was little. And it would seem to me that the number of children who shared a near-drowning experience and fit all these other criteria would have to be fairly low. At the same time, I should point out that I really did have a near-death experience when I was hospitalized with an illness when I was 7. Does it mean anything in the grand scheme of things? I remain skeptical, but open-minded. Oh, and then there's Mall World. There's a whole subset of Reddit users and TikTok accounts dedicated to people who claim that they were all in the gifted program who share the same lucid dream about visiting what they call Mall World. That name is a little misleading because allegedly Mall World is one massive complex that involves schools, hospitals, theaters, and more. But the one thing everyone claims is that they are all having the same dream about the same place. Some people even claim that they have met and communicated with other people in this dreamscape. Then they've gone down to meet that person in real life. Mall World is another subject worthy of its own episode, so drop me a comment below if you'd like to hear more. Or let me know if you've ever visited Mall World in your dreams. I'd love to hear about it. Now, one thing to keep in mind when considering all these stories about the GATE program is that false memories are a real thing. One possible reason a lot of us can't remember what happened to us in the GATE program can also simply be attributed to it all happening a long time ago when we were just kids. Let's face it, school can be boring. Boring enough that you forget things. It doesn't necessarily mean that we were all drugged into forgetting, it's just time marching on. The human mind is also very suggestible when it comes to creating false memories. This is a big problem in court cases involving eyewitness testimony. If you hear one person say, hey, do you remember getting tested with Zener cards when you were a kid? Then part of your brain might instantly say, oh yeah, I remember that too. Pretty soon this game of telephone keeps spreading and suddenly a lot of people remember it that way. On top of all that, with so many gaps in our collective memories, it's natural to want to fill in the blanks. This is also how a lot of conspiracy theories start. The problem is, without any official reports or corroborating evidence, it's impossible to prove one way or the other. We do have actual CIA declassified reports that describe MKUltra, Project Stargate, and the Gateway process, but there have never been any official records tying any of these experiments to the GATE program. At the same time, the lack of evidence doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing there either. We wouldn't know anything about MKUltra either if someone hadn't messed up and forgotten to destroy a batch of records kept in a government warehouse. But what do you think? Were you in the GATE program when you were little? Let me hear your personal stories by commenting below. I really want to hear more. And let me know if you want me to do more videos on this topic. Thanks again.
Yeah, was you in the GATE program? Just one of them questions. What was they really doing? What was the pink liquid about? Why did they need a liquid to put us in a program when you go in and do a hearing test? Why would it be Pepto Bismol? I have a lot of questions, y'all. Thank you, Creek Mary, for coming in, everybody. Full throttle. Super Dave, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming in. And the GATE program, was you part of it? Was you a gifted and talented child? If you was, very good. Did this program inhibit you and your learning ability? See, that's why I'm putting this out here. Because we was really part of a bigger program than what we really knew about. The CIA was hiding it, that they had any involvement from the 70s, 80s, and 90s until the year 2003. They come out declassifying documents all you got to do is Google it. You can find the information. Why did it take them so long to admit it, of being part of this program? And the explanation they give, just like anything else, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't believe one word coming from our government. So, yeah, that's my thoughts about it. I could be wrong, y'all. I could be. Maybe they were trying to make us smarter, Really? So we'd pass our grade and everything, y'all. Tomorrow's my anniversary. I doubt I'll do a live stream tomorrow. Yeah, today's Tuesday. The kids had out of school yesterday because there was ice still on the roads, but everything's running smooth again, y'all. Let me read a few minutes of the chat and I'll let y'all go. As I know I lost half the people in here. Take me for example, Super Dave. I'm a big civil experiment, John Boy. I know you are. I almost drowned in Lake Erie when I was a kid. Mama rages. Yeah, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I stopped breathing when I was just, I don't know how old I was. I believe I was a toddler. I was drowned. My uncle took me out of the water and he said it took him a while to get me back, but he took all the kids, all his nephews and nieces. My uncle that died last year on Christmas Eve, remember? Yeah, he's a good man, y'all. But he said he slapped me on the back, and everything. Here I am today. I've had many experiences with almost being dead. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why you're here. A far bigger reason than we can understand, y'all. Probably so you could reach one person in your life to bring along with you when you go. Be a good example for people, y'all. I'm not the best example. I'm a human being, I'm not the best. John Boy, I've got a scary story about Heber Springs Lake. It was crazy. But was you part of the GATE or Gateway program? The one they wanted you to think you was going in there for your hearing test, Just saying, y'all. Yes. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm with you, Super Dave. Well, thank you, Joey. Because you never know. They might have been trying to inhibit our learning. They might have they might have known we was the generation that could reach telepathically other dimensions or worlds with our mind. They might have known there was people in our generation like that? Just saying. I don't know. There's so many questions. And I could be barking up the wrong tree, y'all. Because you never know what's really going on for real. Many blessings for you and yours. Thank you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to me. I appreciate it, y'all. John Boy, I hope you're doing good. I really do, man. I was worried about you more than you even know. I was like, man, he's having it rough out there, y'all. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. I was praying, brother. Why shouldn't I say it? Because I was praying hard. I was like, Lord, don't let him. Don't let this be it, please. I tell the truth, y'all. And for real, y'all. I got to go get a nap before the grandkids get home from school because it's going to be all hell is going to break loose. Kids are kids, y'all. Shadows crawl on the sidewalk cracks. Thank you all for coming in. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. Hands in my pockets, nothing to move. Super Dave, yeah, we're alive. Moving, grooving. So fine. Oh, yeah. I got to go, y'all. Neon flickers on a sleepless street. Broken bottles where the lost souls meet. I got to get ready for work. Don't talk too loud. Don't do it too much. Too high. The moon's just a whisper in a blood red sky. Super Dave, yeah, we're alive. What I mean is work smart, you know? So fine. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In the dark, in the light. Chasing love. For real, y'all. Moving and grooving. Super Dave, we're alive. Moving, grooving, let it ride. It's all good. It's all fine. Oh, yeah. God bless you all. It's hotter than the wire. Super Dave in the night. Super Dave in the daytime too, y'all.